losing my breath, running around my head. Been playing it cool, but I've been pulling the thread. Maybe I'm too hard on myself, and maybe it ain't good for my health. All I want is, all I want to feel your love. That's all I want.
Intensely sends it to the outside. He can't get there. Kevin King is going to win the Barbizzo FTF Cup Series.
Into the lead. Bud gets wrecked in front of the pack. He saves it. 3-4 wide as they come to the white flag.
Here comes Vargas down on the apron. They are 5 wide. Ian Plash will win it at the line. Is this package? Oh, there goes Jordan Lopez Jr. That's your race leader. Caution flag is out.
Still no one willing to give up as they're going to be dead even off of the first chicane.
Oh, he saves it. What's going to happen here? Here comes the canvas.
Get your foot there. He's got it. He's got it. Get there. No.
Canvas is
Welcome to FTF GG's coverage of the virtual Dash for Cash. I'm Caleb Hoffman, alongside me, Josh Mendoza, with our producer, Zach Johnson. 21 cars here to take on this 2.66 mile super speedway at Talladega. And Josh, Gen 4 is here at Talladega, always a wild one.
Yeah, it is a wild one. These cars have very interesting bumper alignments, can make for a very difficult time if you want to try and push the driver in front of you. Definitely going to be sketchy through 1 and 2, 3, and 4, everywhere. It's going to be sketchy. Tri-oval, definitely sketchy. It's just sketchy all around with these Gen 4 cars at Talladega, at this old former airbase. It'll be a fast one here, Caleb.
Absolutely. Speeds almost up to 205 miles per hour, and we'll get you the starting lineup here tonight. Again, 21 cars attempting to claim the prize here tonight from the Talladega Superspeedway. On the pole is going to be Aaron Smith. Alongside him, Mason Sweet. Row number 2 going to be Derek Justice in the 12 with Sean Rafferty to his outside. Dylan Dreiling going to line up inside row 3 from the 5th position. Jeremy Bucci to his outside in 6th. Morgan Beard in row number 4 on his outside. William Downham, Parker Tatro, and then Oscar Jensen going to round out your top 10.
Yeah, we're going to move to 11th, and that's Tim Hendry and Parker White. Robert Lawrence and Jaden Kretecki are going to round out row number 7. Zach Nichols and Say Bowen. Michael P. Frisch and Daniel Buttafuoco will be rounding out row number 9. Daniel Falkenham and Santiago Tires round out round 10.
And then a shotgun in the field here, going to be Presley Gibson. And we will get rolling here soon enough. Cars currently on the grid, and Josh, we touched on it a little bit, but this racetrack is, just super flat, super fast. It's going to be a fun one for sure. With these Gen 4 cars, though, you were talking about some of those pushes. What can we expect to see out of those tonight?
Yeah, those pushes are going to be really sketchy, as I was saying earlier. The track, I mean, your slip of the tongue, it is fat, and that does mean you can go pretty wide around this track. Lots of lanes available for your choosing, so you don't necessarily have to push the guy ahead of you, even if you dare do that just courageous decision to push the car ahead of you. You'll see some of these more expert drivers who know how to get the most out of these vehicles, find a way to make a push work, but yeah, otherwise you're not going to want to do that, Caleb.
Absolutely. And at this track's other counterpart, Daytona International Speedway, you have a tendency to get gridlocked, 3 lanes, maybe even 4 if you get lucky. And this track, again, is wide enough to be conducive to 4-wide racing. It's still going to be sketchy, as you said, but it is conducive to it as these cars go down the backstretch. Should be about half a lap away from the green flag as they head through turns 3 and 4. And a fun one for sure. A lot of big names in here tonight, Josh.
Yeah, there are a lot of big names, but the one who is driving on basically free money at this point is our pole sitter, Aaron Smith. He, by earning that pole spot, I believe he has gotten his payback, or his pay-in back, which means he is, I guess as you could say, paying on house money.
Something to watch there. Again, all these drivers in the dash for cash competing for a purse prize here tonight. Everything going to be on the line. 80 laps here from the Talladega Super Speedway. No green-white checkers, 1 fast repair. Should make for an interesting one here tonight. Cars rolling through the tri-oval. Pace car going to pull onto the pit lane. And as they roll through the tri-oval, should be ready to get going here. Once again, 80 laps from the Talladega Super Speedway. Aaron Smith alongside him. Gonna be green flag here from the Talladega Super Speedway.
Looks like that outside lane just got a better jump. Something that you got to be on the... you can't be sleeping on restarts here. Those restarts are critical for establishing lane dominance early in, and as soon as I say that inside lane, and Aaron Smith slides up to the outside lane.
Leaving the inside open for Derek Justice. Interesting, and Aaron Smith going up to that 3rd lane, going to be falling back. And we saw that outside lane get connected together, and I don't know if Aaron Smith is just wanting to fall to the back here and play it safe, or if he is, is that Buttafuoco making it 4 wide.
Oh, that's really sketch. I think a couple of these drivers are trying to fall to the back. They don't want to participate in this early race shenanigans. If you could save that fast repair in your back pocket towards the later half of the race, that's going to basically give you an extra life. You want to go out there and be able to race towards the end of the race where it matters the most, and having a fast repair on you towards that stage of the race is the most important thing to make that happen.
Lap 2 here, and Aaron Smith, after starting on the pole all the way back in 17th, you see that highlighter yellow machine back there, still 3 wide up here. Buttafuoco with a big shove on Derek Justice there, and Derek Justice going to be able to retain the lead, but maybe not for long. Here comes Dylan Dreiling on the inside. Dreiling with Baird behind him. They come through the tri-oval for the 2nd time tonight. This outside lane doing a good job of being grouped up, and really all around everybody's pretty stacked up together right now. So still going to be Derek Justice who retains the lead here with help from Buttafuoco behind him. Parker White 3rd in that outside line, and Michael P. Frisch up there with him. Again, seeing just how wide this racetrack is. Here comes Parker White with help from Michael P. Frisch. That's going to leave Buttafuoco out to dry. And now Parker White will be 2nd in line on the outside lane there.
A little bit of onboard action right here. As you can see, this is just how close they're going to get. They're not going to get a lot closer. Michael P. Frisch, he's a very, very experienced super speedway racer, has a lot of experience in Moon Car and a lot of wins, and also is right now on track to potentially be joining the Coke Series for next year.
Indeed, lots of talent behind the wheel of that 58 machine, and here we go. We got some guys dropping down to the inside. Morgan Baird and Parker Tatro in the number 98 and the 10 machine. Both of them will rejoin going into turn number 3. And outside of these, really 6 cars that are almost in 2-car tandem formation, along with Santiago Tires here, this pack is really starting to spread out in the back.
Yeah, it is very spread out. A lot of these guys have a lot of different, just mindsets to the super speedway racing. But this 3-wide action as we cross the line just barely put Justice out in front by 8/1000ths of a second over Buttafuoco. That is hopefully going to be how close this dash for cash is going to end up being at the end of this race.
Yeah, this racing right now reminiscent of a 2011 Talladega of sorts, where we got these 3 separate tandem lines. Santiago Tires here helping, and that's Robert Irons in the outside lane in the number 34.
John Rafferty just came over the radio and yelled, "I'm hot, I'm hot, I'm hot." So that's another thing you'll need to keep in mind when you're getting behind a car in front of you. Is just, are you going to be able to stay behind them for as long as you need to stay behind them? You can blow up an engine real easily if you're not careful.
And with that, Michael P. Frisch made a move in the tri-oval to get out from behind Derek Justice, and didn't quite pan out for him yet, but if that high line can get some momentum behind it, he should be in a pretty good position, but he will opt to come back in line behind Buttafuoco. But yeah, something to keep an eye out for tonight. Derek Justice, big move. Going to cut down in front of the Parker White machine, trying to play both lanes here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Parker White in line behind him, and he with the fake out on Derek Justice right there. What a slick move back down to the inside, and now Derek Justice just going to get freight train Tires to the outside as well, but it's going to be Parker White at the line.
The 34 machine is looking to save Derek Justice, and now Michael P. Frisch is the odd one out of this whole pack. Stuck on that outside lane, no help from behind. He's likely going to fall back maybe 4 or 5 car lengths until he's going to be able to find a room to pull in to join this pack.
And that's one of the challenges here at Talladega, is just finding a spot in line to fit into. Michael P. Frisch has that conundrum ahead of him. He will be able to drop into this outside lane. And for now, we go back to double file formation, excuse me.
Yeah, this double file formation is going to be just trying to churn laps right now. I'm noticing overall not super aggressive maneuvers at this point in the race, and that's not unexpected. We'll see a couple of people make maneuvers to keep them up.
Oh, trouble! Go! Daniel Buttafuoco into the wall hard on the outside. That's going to bring out our first caution of the day. And it's contact up front between Daniel Buttafuoco and Derek Justice, 2 of the main players in this race. And it ended in Derek Justice getting up on 2 wheels. We'll get a replay here for you, but just a slight little contact, I think, that caused that one.
Yeah, that was, well, I spoke too soon.
And you can see from Derek Justice right there, right up on his side, then upside down, and stays that way in the grass in turn number 2, and it's... I don't know if that's Buttafuoco coming up. I think it might just be a mixture of both there. 2 guys fighting for the same real estate.
Yeah, that definitely seems like what it was. I mean, Buttafuoco definitely came up, and it looks like Justice was coming down just a little bit. I don't know. Watching that one again, I'm not so sure. I feel like that could have potentially been Buttafuoco just coming up, not knowing that Justice might have been on his outside, or not knowing how close it was.
And we'll see from this aerial cam. And this will be really, really good here. Watch Derek Justice. I think his outside wheels are going to stay put on that white line. So, yeah, I think it's going to be on Daniel Buttafuoco. Just not judging that room properly right there. And it's going to end in 1 car upside down here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Gets the fast repair, though. But as you said, can throw a wrench later on because you want to have that in your back pocket. And it's only... not even lap 10 here, and he's already going to have to burn one.
Yeah, that Baskin Robbins machine is now one less flavor of faster pair, so 30
Wow.
flavors of mechanicals. There you go.
Gotta fit that in there.
Sorry.
Pit road now a busy place. Everybody coming down onto the pit lane.
Yeah, now another mistake that you can easily make on pit road, not unchecking your faster pair. If you have slight damage, I mean, even if you push the car, that might be interpreted as damage by iRacing. You got to be careful to make sure that every time you come down pit road that you don't have that faster pair check. Otherwise, you can burn that faster pair away, and you can't get it back. There's no way to get that faster pair handed back to you.
Something to keep an eye on for sure. Race off pit road. Parker White going to be the first car off, then Dylan Dreiling, Robert Lawrence, and then Tim Hendry, your first 4 cars. Michael P. Frisch making it an even 5 off the pit lane.
Parker White just had a 5-second stop there, so probably fuel only for the 95.
And I mean, it makes sense, as you said, still have 100% fuel capacity here. So these guys want to get as much fuel as they can inside of these cars. And looking on pit lane, something interesting I noticed was that Daniel Buttafuoco, after being involved in that, used his fast repair. You can see no damage on that race car. And Derek Justice still waiting for that tow. Should be expected to use his here unless there was some kind of complication. But again, I believe he's just waiting for that tow right now on the pit lane.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out for when he gets sent off. Currently 1 lap down, and if his tow doesn't end here in the next 20 seconds or so, maybe 15, he'll be going 2 laps down. Fortunately for him, though, we do have lucky dogs. There is a wave around procedure. He's just going to need a little bit more clashing on track in order to get him back 2 laps down and no one else to go an additional 1 lap down.
Yeah, I mean, here at Talladega, it's, if you lose the draft, it can be really easy to go a lap down, but these cautions coming out will help prevent that.
Well,
some guys coming back down again a second time. Daniel Falkingham among those, and then Aaron Smith.
Buckingham actually did not come down a second time. He was in pit road that whole time and has now scored 1 lap down. So for Derek Justice, bad day just gets a little bit worse. Unfortunately for him, that is one driver he is now going to have to see go get a lucky dog before he's going to be able to join the lucky dog party.
Derek Justice does indeed use that fast repair, so now that makes 2 of our 20 entered drivers tonight. Him and Buttafuoco both down a fast repair here on lap 11 of 80. So looking ahead, should be coming to the restart this time by your top 5 going to be Parker White, Dylan Dreiling, Robert Lawrence, Tim Hendry, and Michael P. Frisch. No choose cone procedure here, just lining up inside, outside, based on your position. So might see that play into things because, a lot of these guys do get used to that choose cone and being able to choose who you line up with, and you don't really have that luxury here.
Yeah, it's definitely not a luxury that you want. You may see a couple of pit road games played because of it. So that's just something to be on the eyes out for, so that you can line up with the person that you want to work with going on a restart.
Either way, after that first caution flag, should be on our way to the restart here. A pace car going to pull back onto the pit lane once again. Parker White, Dylan Dreiling, Robert Lawrence, Tim Hendry, Michael P. Frisch. Parker White has the restart control here as the leader. So as they roll through the tri-oval and into the restart zone, we are going to be back to racing here from Talladega. Green flag back in the air. It's Parker White with help from Lawrence on the inside.
Parker White not having help from behind, that's going to give that outside lane an opportunity to build a little bit of momentum going through turn 1 here. That isn't going to be able to be enough because that inside lane on a restart here typically is going to be able to pull out just a little bit ahead, but not able to here through turns 2. That's going to allow that outside lane to have that momentum and carry it down the backstretch.
Indeed, that higher lane with the speeds just a little bit higher will help you on the straightaways, and you can see that now as everybody grouped together. Tim Hendry laying off the back of Dreiling just a little bit, and that's going to allow Lawrence to get a run on Parker White and push him coming off of turn number 4.
Behind the field, there's a little bit of 3-wide action. You can already see Derek Justice getting involved in that, and I can't tell who that is on that outside lane leading it. We see one drop back. That's Michael P. Frisch on the inside.
That's Mason Sweet on the outside, and he has help from the car 2 laps down right now, and Derek Justice trying to get his lap back. We know he has speed, and we know he's capable of leading laps here. As you see, Laurent's going to drop down to the inside, on board with Derek Justice, giving a huge push to Sweet, and he just got to get clear of Dreiling, not quite all the way there. And now Sweet and Dreiling are going to be the 2 coming out of turn number 4 that Derek Justice is going to have to work to get by.
Yeah, this is an interesting play by Derek Justice. Sometimes you want to try and just hang out in the back and mind your P's and Q's just to hope that things fall in your favor. Or you can try and take control of your destiny by leading the field on track, but not necessarily on the scoreboard. Parker White will be scored the leader. Derek Justice, I think, gets left out to dry by the 95.
Yeah, he does, and a little bit more contact. Parker White and Derek Justice into the wall. And that's going to involve more Bowen involved as well. And everybody else, I think, going to make it through. But it was Parker White and Derek Justice once again. Side draft gone wrong in turn number 2 to put us under our second caution flag of the day.
Fortunately, that's probably going to end Derek Justice's night. Parker White almost able to save it, but not quite able to. And Derek Justice, I don't know how he feels about that, but I'd be pretty livid. He is just quit from the server.
So Derek Justice out of this race after being a contender early. And here on lap 15, we will take a quick break before we get pit stops and more looks at this wreck. And you see Parker White there. A tough thing for him because he'll probably have to use a fast repair, I'd have to guess. But either way, after a few quick messages, we will be back here from the Talladega Super Speedway right now. Mason Sweet, your leader, after 15 laps. back live from the Talladega Super Speedway in the virtual Dash for Cash. Caleb Hoffman with you alongside Josh Mendoza. Mason Sweet is your leader after 16 laps. We're under our second caution of the day after an incident that involved Derek Justice and knocked him out of the race, along with Parker White, who has just used his fast repair, just waiting on some service on the pit lane. So already after 16 laps, Josh, we've had a few incidents here today.
Yeah, this is not surprising. There is so many close little just incidents that you just got to be careful of. These cars are so unstable comparative to the next gen cars. Those next gens have just so much downforce. You got to be careful with these Gen 4 Cup cars. So much horsepower, so little downforce, so easy for just terrible things to happen to you. And Derek Justice, unfortunately, is our first full complete victim of the race.
And again, 2 incidents for Derek Justice already today that knocked him out. Used his fast repair after going upside down in the first caution, and then second caution contact with he and Parker White. But should be coming back to the restart this time by. Lights off on the pace car. It's Mason Sweet, your leader still. Tim Hendry on the outside, Dylan Dreiling, Jeremy Bucci, and then Daniel Budafuco going to make up your top 5. And, you know, do you really expect guys to start calming down at this point and try to tick off laps, or do you expect to see what we've been seeing and see some double file, 3 wide, maybe even 4 wide racing like we saw in the initial start?
You know, that's really hard to tell, Caleb. But the fast repair kind of throws a wrench in a lot of these people's thought process of racing. You have that safety net to rely on. And typically, I would say, yeah, I think people are going to be chill. You're not going to get paid out this lap. You're going to get paid out on the final lap. So there's no point of racing for the lead on lap 17 of 80. But with a fast repair, throw that all out the window. You got something to rely on. So I don't know, man. It's a difficult one to say if they're gonna be chill or not. We'll find out, I guess, under the green flag.
Find out indeed. The only way to really find that out is to let all these guys go, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Pace car pulling off once again, rolling through the tri-oval again. It's Mason Sweet, Tim Hendry, your front row here. This inside lane has been pretty dominant on the restarts, you know, having that control car. We'll see if Dreiling's going to be able to stick with the leader in Sweet here. Through the restart zone, green flag back in the air here from Talladega, and this outside lane sticking together. They might actually have quite a run here.
This is going to be a really interesting restart. You're going to see it up here in the distance. You'll see a car that's about to be merging. That's the 95 of Parker White. Where is that car going to merge as these cars are restarting? How is that going to affect the field?
Another interesting thing tonight has been how dominant this inside lane has been. Typically at Talladega, you see cars gradually move up towards that third line. We have yet to see that so far today, but only 20 laps through. You know, barely a fifth of the way through this thing, so plenty of time to unravel all these things. As you said, Parker White, lap traffic up ahead. About a 30-mile-per-hour discrepancy here, so he's going to have to move out of the way.
And unfortunately for our pole sitter, got his money back, but his internet could not sustain. Looks like Aaron Smith unfortunately dropped out of the session. We'll see if he joins us back again. Parker White goes 2 laps down.
Close call there for Parker White. He has that entire pack drafting right by him. It gets that inside lane stacked up, and now it's going to be Tim Hendry to the lead here at Talladega. Bucci on the outside. He's going to go all the way up to the third lane, going to leave a door open for Budafuco and Michael P. Frisch. And all of a sudden, 5 cars here with Cy Bowen in the number 99 there in 7th. It's really this inside lane grouped up all together, and then these 2 guys left for dead on the outside, really.
Yeah, a little update on Aaron Smith. He just came into chat and notified us that his power went out. So unfortunate timing for Aaron Smith for the electricity to cease. But we got a couple of competitors out here that still do have power, and a couple of them are going 3 wide at the front of the pack.
Zach Nichols coming with the run, a little bit of contact between Michael P. Frisch and Mason Sweet. He's going to have to recollect that car, and he will. Huge loss of momentum, though, for that inside lane. And now, Buttafuoco, Michael P. Frisch, they have help from behind. It's Oscar Jensen, Daniel Falkingham getting racy once again here. Lap 20 of 80.
Side by side through the front of the field, like you were saying, and it is getting real intense right now. I guess you could say these drivers aren't just going to settle down and turn laps. They're going to go hardcore all the way to the end of this race. And let's move that first car out into the front of the line. That is Daniel Buttafuoco.
A little bit of a rubber banding effect here. Tim Hendry, Mason Sweet, gonna look on the inside. Once again, gets that inside lane checked back up, kills their momentum, and now Buttafuoco gonna control the lead. Michael P. Frisch, can he get clear as well? He will, and they have the option of going down to that inside lane, but they choose to stick on that outside. And that's gonna open the door back up for Tim Hendry and Mason Sweet on the inside.
That inside lane needs to figure something out right now. You're not going to be able to do much with just 2 cars. They're going to start to fall back as this 4-car pack on that outside lane is going to be able to carry momentum a lot easier. But that Tide machine behind is going to look to join. That's Daniel Falkingham.
Falkingham joining this group as well. Jeremy Bucci, after restarting 4th on that restart, is right at the tail end of this line, and he's really the gel between these 2 groups with C. Bowen, Santiago Tires, leader of this second pack behind them, and getting back into that double file formation for the moment.
Little side-by-side action through 1 and 2, and there is no clear winner. Actually, just make that, oh no, never mind. Buttafuoco on the outside coming with a little bit of a run. This is as pretty sound as you can get with a battle for the lead. No one able to go anywhere. It is a parking lot that moves at 200 miles per hour.
Gridlocked indeed for the moment. Robert Laurent's going to slingshot out of that second pack. Going to try to get something going on the outside lane here as he looks to the outside at Dylan Dreiling. Nobody opting to go with him right now, though.
That 34 was peeking outside. Got 5 painted on the car, but 34 in our hearts. He is going to join that outside lane, make it 4 cars on the outside, 4 cars on the inside. But there is a couple of drivers that are looking to join that inside line. You see them all lined up behind, and the 20 is going to jump out. That is Jaden Kratacci.
Watch here on the outside. Michael P. Frisch giving a huge shunt to Daniel Buttafuoco. Got to be careful giving long pushes like that because it's so easy to lift the rear tires off the ground. And still, big push from Frisch to Buttafuoco. This inside lane doing a great job keeping up their momentum just enough to not let Buttafuoco get clear for the lead of that lane. And we were seeing it with Derek Justice earlier. He was doing a great job early on of really playing both lanes, coming down to that inside, going back up to the outside. And Daniel Buttafuoco so far has chosen to do the opposite, just sticking with Michael P. Frisch, really showing the trust he has in that 58 to put him up at the front.
Yeah, there's a lot of trust right now with those cars on that outside lane. I can tell you right now, people who have worked together prior are definitely going to be wanting to work together versus people who haven't worked together. So you're going to have a lot more trust in those people that you've raced before versus those that you haven't. You can know what to expect with them.
Zach Nichols, he's trying to get a third lane going on the outside, similar to how Robert Lawrence did earlier. And now this 10 of Morgan Beard. See Bowen, all of these guys up on the outside, trying to get something started there. Right now, not much going to happen. Zach Nichols going to start to fade back just a little bit. We'll see if that third lane can get a run outside of turn 4.
You're going to need a lot more than 2 cars to make that outside lane work. And unfortunately, they're not going to be able to get more than 2 cars to subscribe to their ideals of running that outside lane. Michael P. Frisch on that outside middle lane, I guess you could say, is going to continue to push Daniel Buttafuoco out in front.
sticking together for the time being, and this group coming up on a little bit of lap traffic, and William Downham, and he's going to pull down to the apron. An outside lane with a huge run right now, and again, Buttafuoco opting to stay with Michael P. Frisch, Dylan Dreiling in line, Lawrence, Zach Nichols, and Morgan Baird right now still trying to get this outside lane rolling. They just need one car really to go with them, and haven't gotten it so far.
Yeah, well, you got 5 cars on that outside line that is starting to form up, so maybe we'll see some sort of momentum. I think what they really need is one of those 3 cars that are currently ahead of them to jump out and join their movement, and unfortunately, they are not doing that, stuck in line right now.
Absolutely, getting a little bit more support, though, from cars behind, but I think you're right. I think they're going to need just a little bit of help, but maybe not, because going 206 miles per hour on the outside is Zach Nichols, and he is now side by side for the lead with Daniel Buttafuoco with the help of Morgan Baird behind him.
I was absolutely wrong. They were able to do it all on their own. 206 miles per hour is flying fast. That's what that outside lane will do for you on the backstretch.
And again, we were...
Oh, Michael
bit of contact, Frisch!
Frisch blew up! Frisch blew his engine. Oh my goodness gracious. I said it earlier. You got to be paying attention to the engine temperature. Frisch unfortunately blew up.
Great job by everybody else to not get involved in a wreck there. Robert Lawrence, who was right behind Frisch, had a close call on the apron, and that's completely blown this pack up. And now it's Zach Nichols and Daniel Buttafuoco who have taken control up this lead pack. Daniel Falkingham's here, Morgan Baird, Cy Bowen.
All it takes is one of those near wrecks to get a pack like this strung out. And I guarantee you this is going to be a long green flag run now. Not as many people are going to be getting as sketch. Michael P. Frisch still on the track. We're just way back. We're going to get a replay.
Yeah, just a big checkup right there after he lost his motor. And again, great job by everybody to not get involved in an incident there. You see Frisch's car just losing the motor right there. Gets halfway turned around, but never fully goes around. Everybody else just has to scramble at that point. And Frisch, the lead pack, going to pass him now as he's struggling to make his way to the pit lane. But up front, it is Daniel Buttafuoco and Zach Nichols side by side for the lead.
Caleb, I cannot make a prediction right today. I said that outside lane wouldn't work. I said they wouldn't be able to get side by side again. And here I am, again, being proven wrong by this pack. It is incredible racing today. And I guess I just enjoy being proven wrong. Whatever I say, bet on it being the opposite, it seems.
Right now, this outside lane, pretty dead heat going on in terms of numbers. We got 4 cars on the inside, 4 on the outside. And Zach Nichols, Tim Hendry leading this outside surge, struggling to keep up in the corners, but you can see on the straightaway right here, they just have enough momentum to get right back side by side with Buttafuoco and Falkingham on the inside.
Michael P. Frisch exits pit road, takes his fast repair. Gonna go 2 laps down. He was 1. As we see the 56 just gets tight off corner exit. That was a very strange look.
Interesting indeed from Mason Sweet, who led so many laps earlier, just front end of the car, lost it for whatever reason, and slid up into the wall there. Don't really see that at Talladega too much, because usually you have enough banking to keep the track under you, but couldn't quite hold it there. Meanwhile, the outside lane loses another car to the inside lane, and that battle just gets a little more, how should we guess, skewed against that outside lane. It's really all the momentum's going to be on the inside right now.
I feel like with 3 cars, they're going to be able to maintain, but if they want to make up any time on that inside lane, they're going to need a 4th car.
Another thing that you'll see with this Gen 4 car as well is that side draft is so powerful. We saw it with Derek Justice trying on Parker White earlier, and it resulted in an incident, but it's another method that Zach Nichols can choose to employ if he so wishes.
The 56, I was just thinking back on that 56 and how we got tight. If that's going to be something to just pay attention to as we go through the race, was that just a single, is that a single moment sort of deal, or is his tire starting to go away? Is it kind of similar to the exit at turn number 4 at Daytona on the old '07 surface?
Something to watch out for sure here tonight, as we have just crossed lap 33 of 80, approaching halfway very shortly, inside 10 laps till that. And you can see this outside lane got put together, and all of a sudden Zach Nichols is going to abandon that outside lane with Tim Hendry. And now, after being a 3-car group, Dylan Dreiling bails on it as well, and Tim Hendry is just left out to dry on this outside lane. Now it'll just be a single file group up here, coming up on lap traffic once again of William Downham.
Yeah, I feel like for a while here, you'll see these drivers just kind of maintain single file. Hope I'm wrong, but I think at this point in time, lap 34 of 80, they've already seen so many close calls. It's not worth going out there and pushing the envelope any further than you have to.
Budafuco all over the back bumper of Zach Nichols at the moment. Daniel Falkingham third. Dylan Dreiling in fourth, rounding out your top 5 right now as they run. Morgan Baird in that number 10 machine. And again, just ticking off laps right now. We've seen a few different incidents so far today, and these guys just choosing to avoid that altogether, running around single file right now, just again trying to tick off laps.
Yeah, one of the things to keep in mind is the pace car speed did get updated here in the most recent build update. Not sure what it was before. It might have been 60, it might have been 80, but now it is now 70 miles per hour for sure. So that's going to be something to keep in mind. I'm being told it was 60 miles per hour previously. So that'll be something to keep in mind. You have less time under caution to take any repairs that you want to do in case you want to avoid using your fast repair.
And you can see Zach Nichols from the lead getting cycled out. Should be running P6 as of now, as they cross the line once again, re-giving the lead to Daniel Budafuco and putting him and Falkingham together up here battling for the lead. Got one group coming right on that outside lane trying to get something going.
Yeah, that's Sweet and Hendry again. It looks like those two are stern believers in the idea that you can get that outside working, and it is working very well. They have a massive run. They're going to be able to join, I think, the leader in turn number 3, and they do. They get up to the car behind the leader, and that is exactly where they need to be. They're going to have a great run off of corner exit here. Those two cars are making up a lot of time, and they have another one joining behind. That is the 44 of Zach Nichols.
Zach Nichols, who we saw lead so many laps with the help of Tim Hendry, just ditched him, and I wonder if we'll see the same from Hendry here, if he gets a chance, or if they'll try to just keep this outside lane rolling. As of right now, they have 4 cars, so it's, again, about a dead heat. But right now, these guys, they got really, really unorganized off 2 there, and Budafuco sliding up, leaving Falkingham to join this outside lane.
Yeah, that was a very sketch move by Budafuco, a last-minute maneuver that we've seen so many times already in this race, and a couple of times not quite work out and end up in a wreck. So fortunate for him that there was no issue there and it was all clear around. But that's going to slow that outside lane and allow that tied car on the inside, I believe, of Falkingham to get out in front.
Still side by side at the line. And keep in mind, these guys want to avoid what happened to Michael P. Frisch earlier with that blown motor. So expect to see some shuffling around at the very least, because, Falkingham, I'd say that's why Budafuco jumped up to that outside lane, is because Falkingham was probably getting hot and he didn't want to lose another pusher.
Yeah, Caleb. Now, I want to call attention right now to the pack behind that's got Santiago Tires, Oscar Jensen, and Jaden Kratachi. They're all in a group right now. 5 seconds behind, it looks to be or so. No, 4.4 seconds behind. They're single file. This is going to be super helpful for them if they want to try and catch that lead pack. No side drafting, nothing that's going to slow down these cars. So we'll follow along, see if they're able to make up time just by being single file.
And you can see this group just crossing the start-finish line right now. Again, Oscar Jensen, Santiago Tires, and Kratachi all in this group. And you saw for a split second behind them a group of Sean Rafferty, Michael P. Frisch, and Jeremy Bucci. That's for about that 11th position. Oh, and back up at the front, 3 wide for the lead.
Yeah, they just got it settled out, but it was 3 wide racing. You can still see the remnants of it existing. It was getting pretty intense up here. I was watching it as we were following along with that single car pack trying to catch up. And I can tell you, they like that. Already down to 4.2 seconds to the lead pack. So all this heavy racing for this lead right now is working out for those guys who have fallen off due to the Michael P. Frisch engine incident.
Gonna be halfway to the distance this time by Daniel Buttafuoco, with Tim Hendry behind him. Again, just trying to play both lanes as of right now, but Mason Sweet's not having any of it. He's going to put Daniel Buttafuoco in the wall. A bump gone wrong. And they're going to keep it straight for right now. They do a great job of collecting those race cars, but a big hit for Daniel Buttafuoco on the outside. Certainly going to give him some damage. Mason Sweet as well.
No meatball flag for that GoDaddy inspired paint, but that's gonna unfortunately hurt that lead pack, or that pack behind this lead pack, as they are gonna be unable. And there looks like there's a little bit of tension here. This is tension. Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah, there was definitely some more contact there. Those guys, maybe Buttafuoco showing displeasure from that bump gone wrong on Mason Sweet. But that gets them all back in single file formation. And now that is all that's handed the lead to Tim Hendry here, and he has help from Falkingham behind him.
That was a very interesting, and unfortunately for Daniel Buttafuoco, that's gonna unfortunately put him at the tail end of this pack, and he's already got a damaged machine. We'll see if he's able to do anything with it. This lead pack seems to be pretty slow, so I think he'll be okay.
Well, keep in mind, he was in that first caution with Derek Justice, had to use his fast repair, so this car is what he has till the end of this thing. So he'll have to come down pit road at some point and make repairs to that car if we get another caution or something of the like maybe later on.
And quiet but quick is that pack behind. They're already down to 2.4 seconds, and they are catching up quickly. You can now see them starting to appear in our camera shots in the background. So all this side-by-side racing has resulted in those who are able to stay coordinated, able to close up.
Absolutely, here as they come across the line to complete lap 42 from Talladega, all in single file formation. If you're wondering what's upcoming here on FTF.GG, this Friday we have FTF1. It's round 6 of 11 from Le Mans, and Jake Sperry and Joey Atterbury will be joining us for that. It should be a fun one from Le Mans. Then this Sunday is going to be FTF, the Bar Visuals FTF Cup Series from Road America. Round 14 just had round 13 halfway in the regular season. You see we're getting racy once again up front. Also this Sunday, Winstel from Daytona, going to be a fun one as the halfway point in the Winstel season, round 12 of 24. Then next Monday's core, round 2 from Rockingham. Me and James Pike will be there for that with the Gen 4 cars. Should be tons of fun here, and that's just the next week on FTF.GG. Meanwhile, back up at the front here, Morgan Baird making a push with Daniel Buttafuoco to try to take the lead here on the outside lane.
Well, this is, Caleb, it's something interesting that's currently developing from Race Control. Race Control is currently polling the drivers to see if they want a caution on lap 50. So there is currently a poll going amongst the drivers of whether or not they're going to throw a yellow flag on lap 50, but that could be something that throws a little bit of a wrench in everyone's plans here. And hey, look at that. That pack from behind is officially in the lead draft.
And that is officially confirmed by race control. Caution on lap 50, and all drivers will get their laps back. So a fresh start for everybody on lap 50. Dylan Dreiling making it 3 wide on the outside. He has a little bit of a run. No help, though, going to subside here. At some point, he's got Zach Nichols to his inside. Cy Bowen and Oscar Jensen behind him. Bowen going to opt to drop down to the inside lane. Oscar Jensen coming with a huge run on Dreiling.
You're going to see a massive push on this outside here. Once we get off corner exit, whether or not this car out in front is going to be able to do that in the middle of the pack, that's Morgan Baird. He's not going to be able to block off corner exit, and that's going to give that outside lane an opportunity to have a pretty quick run, especially with no side draft. Not able to do much as they are stalling out due to, I think the 13 came up and gave a little side draft to the 26.
Either way, still 3 wide here. Tim Hendry with control of the field for right now with help from Falkingham. Baird has no help in that middle lane. Everybody else is just chose either inside or outside. He hasn't gotten that luxury yet, but Dreiling with a run with help from Jensen and Budafuco behind him.
Yeah, Budafuco now leading that outside lane. Keep in mind that 56 car is somebody that he is not happy with, so we'll see if there is any sort of conflict once that 56 is back a part of this pack.
The raciest we've seen them since Michael P. Frisch blew that motor. And right now, on the outside, Santiago Tires giving a huge shove to Daniel Budafuco, and once again, we have 6 cars all in this lead pack with Bowen and Baird behind them.
Currently working lap 47. So this is about 3 laps to go before we're going to have the caution flag out. And there's going to be a lot of dashing around to try and have the lead once we go under yellow.
And with how close they're getting to each other right now, it might not even be 3 laps before we get that next caution, because Daniel Budafuco on this outside lane is squeezing everybody else down. And overall, just a really tight pack forming here for the lead. Now, Dreiling going to get clear of Tim Hendry there. Oscar Jensen going to be in the lead in that middle lane, and this outside lane has lost all support as Budafuco and Tires will fade and drop down to that middle line.
Oh, it gets real squirrely towards the front. They're going to keep it going forward, but the 56 is stuck in that outside wall 4 wide right now.
Man.
Oh, man.
Close call for sure as Bowen was pushing Mason Sweet while that car was still out of control. And Daniel Budafuco's backing out of that one. He knows a caution's coming up. Should be 2 to go to that caution at the line.
One car stuck on the outside. That's a 17 car of Cy Bowen, and no help from behind. 44 is looking to join. That's Zach Nichols.
Indeed, and this 6 cars have reshuffled their formation, and we have a little bit of strategy developing here. Again, with that caution coming out, that's Jeremy Bucci down on the pit lane. Gonna decide to try a little bit of something to maybe be in the lead on this.
Well, it ain't gonna matter. He just got himself a black flag for speeding down pit road, so that is completely blown out of the window because he is speeding.
Unfortunate break for Bucci there. Still side by side, Mason Sweet. Believe he's going to have the lead at the line coming to the caution flag, and he will. Caution waving here. Fun flag, if you will. And everyone should be getting their laps back. So again, a fresh start here with 30 laps to go.
Yeah, we're going to see all the lead lap cars get in single file right now and let the lap down cars get their laps back. Definitely a it's very moon car-esque, but This will bring a lot of players that were out of the race back into it. And one of the ones that I'm keeping my eye on right now is Michael P. Frisch as well as Parker White.
Yeah, again, those cars that are lapped down that qualify for this, it's going to be Kratacci in the number 33, Bucci, who we just saw with that penalty, Parker Tatro, Michael P. Frisch is 2 laps down, Aaron Smith, after falling out of the server earlier, going to be 3 laps down, Parker White, who was involved in that second caution, had to take a faster pair, 4 laps down, and William Downham as well. Last car in the running right now in 19th, Derek Justice in 20th after DNFing. So while we have this caution, we are going to step aside for a quick moment, recollect our thoughts, and get ready for 30 more laps of racing. Mason Sweet retains the lead from Talladega Superspeedway. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Talladega Superspeedway here on lap 52, currently under the caution flag. A little bit of a fun flag that we had on lap 50 here. Currently, your leader going in was Mason Sweet, who currently runs second. Jaden Kratacci stayed out after getting his laps back and assumes the lead 24 laps into his stint currently, so opts not to come down the pit lane, which is still subject to change. He could choose to do that at any time, and we'd cycle back out how we were running. But for the time being, it's that number 33 in P1. Looking back through the field again, Kratacci will come down the pit lane this time by, so Mason Sweet will reassume the lead. Oscar Jensen will be running in the second position, Dylan Dreiling third, and then Cy Bowen fourth, Tim Hendry rounding out your top 5. But looking around the field right now, still have 3 cars that have to get their laps back, including Aaron Smith, William Downham, and Parker White. So we will be extending the caution here to allow them time to get their laps back.
Aaron almost went down pit road there. Oh, goodness gracious. Parker White. Oh, boy. This is going to be real sketch. You'll see him join. Oh, boy. Right on the apron.
Sweet. Yeah, Mason Sweet below that yellow line just a little bit.
Whew. Doesn't get you quite on the edge of your seat like a car coming by at 200 miles per hour while you're pacing around at 70. Oh.
And you see Aaron Smith getting his final lap back on the outside. So should be fun restart here. And again, fresh footing everyone finds himself on. Aaron Smith especially had a lot of speed earlier on. Sat on the pole for this race, fell out of the server, unfortunately, and after his power went out, and finds himself a fresh chance. Michael P. Frisch, another guy who had to use his faster pair, was up front early on and just blew the motor. He gets a fresh start as well, so this pack should be back to full strength, really. We're not spread out from any incidents or anything like that. It'll just be a race it out to the end.
Yeah, we'll see. I believe Parker White will be able to get his final lap back here. So everyone will have their laps back. A couple of people, we know Aaron Smith fell out. Fortunately for him, that means it did not take his faster pair away. So fortunate for him that he still has that. Parker White, you're going to see him make his way around for his final time around to get his lap back. Something to note, Parker White, he was so busy this caution getting his laps back that he never got an opportunity to come down pit road and get service. So that'll be something that we're going to following along. When the last time he came down pit road was quite a while ago. I'm going to try and see if I can find out when that was. It appears to be around lap 31 was the last time he was potentially down pit road. So it'll be a long time. I don't think he'll be able to make it on the end on fuel here. Gonna go side by side here. Going to 1 to go this time by. We'll see if 95 is going to be able to get his opportunity to come down pit road, get any service. We'll keep that open. I know Aaron Smith was able to come down, and everyone else who got their laps back were able to come down this time by. See if Parker White's able to do so. He is going to be able to make his way down pit road. So everyone with a fresh tank of fuel, a fresh start for this race. 26 laps to go when we go green flag racing. So this will be an exciting race to watch. Not as many people will be able to start on that outside row. There are going to be a lot of drivers stuck on the inside, almost like a single file restart here, Caleb.
Indeed, and lights out on the pace car. Everybody caught back up. For the time being, Parker White still on the pit lane. He is the last car that has to rejoin this pack, running in the 19th position. So, should be a fun restart here. Going to be 26 laps to go when we come to the green flag. Going to be Mason Sweet with Oscar Jensen, Dylan Dreiling, Cy Bowen, and Tim Hendry, your top 5. But keep in mind, there are still players throughout the day that have just fallen back as a result of misfortune. Daniel Falkingham running 6th. He's going to have a lot of speed. Daniel Budafuco we've seen up front. Zach Nichols we've seen make challenges for the lead. Santiago Tires as well. Kratacci held the lead for a minute. Michael P. Frisch we saw up front before he blew that motor. Aaron Smith as well with his power going out. Gets a fresh start here. And obviously Parker White before he was involved in that incident with Derek Justice early on. So lots of guys finding themselves on new footing once again. Pace car going to pull off, and here we go. Going to be a chaotic final 26 laps here in the virtual Dash for Cash. It's Mason Sweet who leads the field back to the green flag, and we're racing once again from Talladega.
A couple of players are going to be able to get some good restarts here and able to get a jump on the field. Parker White, most notably, is already by about 4 or 5 cars on that restart from the back of the pack. Curious to see if that's going to be ruled as a legal maneuver, but either way, is the moment it stands.
Sweet moving up to the outside to get support from Oscar Jensen. Robert Lawrence on the outside makes a move, doesn't quite have any help. And still throughout the field, we have this first group that's all packed together and then spread out, kind of like we saw on the initial start.
One car that's continuing to fall back, Zach Nichols. He is falling back further and further back. Now the second to last car in the lead pack. Maybe this is a planned operation here to just try and stay out of all the danger.
And Zach Nichols there, one car with a lot of speed, another car with a lot of speed trying to take the lead on the outside. Going to be the Daniel Falkingham machine. Let's ride on board with him as he tries to get the lead right here for Mason Sweet. You can see Dylan Dreiling all over the back bumper. That thing right now makes a swift move down to the inside on Falkingham. And now just getting swallowed up by the pack is Falkingham. And as fast as he tried to take the lead, they're 4 wide once again. He and Buttafuoco both getting swallowed. It's Tires and Parker White on the outside.
I can't tell, is he looking at a screen to his side and racing like that? That is impressive. I have to look dead ahead when I'm racing. That is really, really impressive if that's the case.
That's quite an interesting setup. You see that big wall of diecast behind him. Really cool setup there from Daniel Falkingham. Oh, and a little bit of contact between he and Buttafuoco for a quick second. But yeah, we got to thank Daniel Falkingham for letting us ride on board with him tonight. Meanwhile, back up at the front, Santiago Tires, Parker White, Daniel Buttafuoco with help from Jeremy Bucci trying to get help on this outside. Gonna be 23 laps to go at the stripe. Santiago Tires, your leader.
Aaron Smith looking to go on that outside lane. Our pole sitter back in it and is looking to try and make his way towards the front of the field towards the end of this race. 23 laps to go.
And right now, some guy that we haven't talked about, who we know has a lot of speed, Aaron Smith on the outside trying to make a move. He doesn't have the support quite yet, but we've seen that third lane is viable tonight. And he, for the moment, will try to keep that third line going. Maybe trying to get Falkingham's help, maybe Hendry as well.
Aaron Smith really trying to make that outside line work. He's finally got a friend in that. That looks like Cy Ballon, but unfortunately, as soon as he got that friend, it looks like Aaron Smith.
Oh, trouble! It's going to be Bucci going around collecting Aaron Smith. A really tough hit. Mason Sweet's in it as well. Morgan Baird makes a little bit of contact down the back straight away, and we are under the 4th caution of the day. And once again, in turn number 2, and that makes all 3 cautions for incident right in turn number 2. We'll get a replay here for you, but it all started Jeremy Bucci getting turned into the outside wall here at the Talladega Superspeedway. A really tough hit for him.
Yeah, we'll see right here. Somebody reported that the car disappeared for a second. Yep, as you see right there, our camera lost it. And I don't know, that disappear was, quite frankly, quite a bit before the contact occurred. So I don't really know if that's necessarily what caused the incident. But either way,
well,
I
think right now, if you look, we'll get another look at it. I think you see Bucci's going to make a little bit of contact with Buttafuoco. Again, just a normal push, but has to lift off a little bit. And Falkingham, I just don't think is expecting it. And again, it's so easy in these Gen 4 cars to make too much contact like that, and it results in that. And you can see Mason Sweet going around as well. Somebody that was up front for a lot of today. Aaron Smith was involved in that as well. And then a secondary incident with Sweet. Oscar Jensen down on the inside. Baird made a little bit of contact. Michael P. Frisch had a great avoidance through that. Looks like those are the only 4 cars with damage so far. So we'll see if anybody comes down the pit lane. And
Ooh.
yes, Santiago Tires from the lead will come down.
This is a big maneuver. He's going to bring down a couple more drivers. Michael P. Frisch thought about it, jumped out of line at the last second, but pretty much everyone on back is going to come down pit road. Everyone 9th on back.
I got to assume coming down to just freshen up. Maybe fill those cars up with fuel, get some fresh tires in it. Daniel Falkingham is off.
Maybe just evaluate whether or not they may not have a meatball flag, but see how much optional repair they have. See if it's something that they can take care of, or if they're going to have to end up taking a fast repair. Couple of drivers just topping off though.
Well, and I think that's another element to it as well. So 20 laps to go right now. Should be well inside the fuel window, but one thing you have to keep in mind is we have 3 green-white checkers at our disposal if we need to use them. So that can definitely throw a wrench into fuel strategy as well. We've seen that at Talladega numerous times.
Now, I'm very curious as to why the 24 car is down pit road. He is still sitting there. I'm wondering if he might have damage or if something else might be happening because he is still sitting on pit road. This doesn't seem like a situation in which he would need to come down pit road. Maybe he is like, okay, I noticed my car is not perfect. I'm going to come down and get optional damage repaired. Or maybe he just got called to dinner. He's grabbing his food.
Fair evaluation. Maybe he got something to eat. Santiago Tires, either way, is off and away. After pitting from the lead, he'll have some work to do. Meanwhile, back up at the front, inheriting your lead was Daniel Buttafuoco. Parker White worked his way up to second after starting at the tail end of the field on that restart. Robert Lorenz third, Tim Hendry fourth, and Dylan Dreiling consisting of your top 5. Coming to 19 laps to go and should be getting the call to restart anytime now. You're in the virtual Dash for Cash from Talladega Superspeedway, and it's been a fun day so far. Lots of 3-wide, even 4-wide racing. Seen a few incidents, but overall, it's been a fun day of just some green flag, hard Talladega racing.
Yeah, it's been pretty exciting. A lot of people out there who are not out there to just kind of ride around. A lot of them are going around, having a good time, and just making it a fun race overall. And we had a little fun yellow in there to get the field back up, get all those players back in there, and it is an exhibition race, so you might as well have fun with it.
Absolutely, and you see indeed the lights going to go out on the pace car here. And again, lots of new developments here. As we were talking about earlier, pace car speed getting up to 70 miles per hour, and again, reflecting real life what usually is run. But another wrench into that is if you have any damage, which I can assume we're going to see here in the last 19 laps, a few guys with some damage, gives you less time to work on that as well. This is going to be so much fun. Again, Winstel on Sunday, going to be at Daytona with this exact configuration, the Gen 4s at Daytona. We just saw that actually in the core last Monday. Was a fun set of races there. So be sure to check out Winstel from Daytona, their halfway point on Sunday, and then core at Rockingham this Monday. Either way, going to be coming to 18 laps to go. And Mendoza, I gotta know what you're thinking here. I know it's probably too soon to be asking for a favorite at this point, or somebody that you just have a hunch about. Who do you think can come out on top here?
It's always hard to bet against a driver like Michael P. Frisch. I think he is one of those drivers out there, even though he already has expelled a fast repair. He just always is in the right place at the right time. I think that's one driver you got to be looking out at.
Time to find out. It's going to be Parker White and Daniel Buttafuoco going to be slow to get started here. They pass through the restart zone, but remember, that green flag is on whatever Daniel Buttafuoco calls it to be. So Parker White has to do a good job of not jumping that restart, and he does. He actually really matches that initial start from Daniel Buttafuoco, and that outside lane is holding strong to the inside of Buttafuoco and Lorenz.
Yeah, it looks like Aaron Smith is at the back of the pack. He's already trying to make that outside line work. Unfortunately, his help from behind is not having a good, stable internet connection. So that's going to hurt his chances. But got one on the far outside. That's the Tide car. That looks like that's Falkingham, who's looking to get that outside lane working. And he is. And my goodness, is it getting tight there.
Little bit of contact between Falkingham and the Tim Hendry machine. William Downham, who we saw at one point up to 4 laps down, is on the lead lap and up inside of this lead pack. 18 laps to go, and now all of a sudden he's going to be a key component in trying to get Fockingham this lead. A little bit of contact between Parker White and almost going around is Daniel Buttafuoco. They do a fantastic job of not spinning out there, but that's going to break this entire lead pack up, and now all of a sudden it's Robert Lawrence in control of the field. Here comes Dylan Dreiling on the outside. He has help from Parker White and Daniel Fockingham.
That, I don't even know how they didn't wreck right there. That is a wreck that somehow is not going to be scored as a wreck. They managed to keep it all going forward. That is incredible driving by those drivers. You can see the talent in them saving those cars.
They all keep their foot in it, and now Parker White and Daniel Fockingham drafting together now to take the lead. 16 laps to go from the Talladega Superspeedway in the virtual dash for cash, and there are still players out behind him. A little bit of contact between Mason Sweet and Daniel Buttafuoco. Tim Hendry as well trying to find space to operate.
Parker White and Fockingham made a little bit of contact through 1 and 2, and you gotta hand it to Daniel Buttafuoco. He was about wrecking just a few laps ago, and he is already back on this outside line trying to make it work and get back up front.
3 wide up front for the lead. Daniel Fockingham with help from Lawrence on the inside. Then in the middle lane, you have Daniel Dreiling with help from Parker White, and then on the outside, Daniel Buttafuoco with help from Jeremy Bucci, who has had a lot of speed here today. Michael P. Frisch up in this battle as well. And here comes Sean Rafferty, somebody we haven't had the privilege to talk about much today. But again, with that caution coming out a few laps ago, it really put this entire field on equal footing.
Don't be surprised if you see Frisch making it 4 wide, and he just does as I'm saying it. He went 4 wide for a second, got around the that one car on the outside lane. That was the 15 of Bucci, and he's going to continue to fall back.
Buttafuoco and Frisch all alone on the outside. They're going to need some more support if that lane is to become viable. Coming to 14 laps to go at the Talladega Superspeedway. Daniel Fockingham with help from Lawrence behind him. And all of a sudden, a huge run from Daniel Buttafuoco and Michael P. Frisch is going to put them back into play on the outside.
A little bit of 4 wide action happening behind them. They're going to get it sorted out before we enter turn number 1. But 3 by 3 throughout this lead pack. And right now, it's those 2 outside lanes that have control.
Down the backstretch, still 3 wide, and this outside lane is chugging along. Tons of speed and tons of momentum. Buttafuoco and Michael P. Frisch almost coming together there, and Michael P. Frisch with a big move to the inside, going to clear Daniel Fockingham and get around Daniel Buttafuoco for the lead. Is that number 58 of Michael P. Frisch as they come around to the Tri-Oval.
It was such a move that almost did not work. Frisch got super loose into turn number 3. He was able to keep it underneath him, but those cars were very unstable when he made that emergency exit down to the bottom lane.
Keep in mind, Michael P. Frisch overheated the motor and blew it up earlier. So something he's very mindful of for sure right now. Makes a big move to get down to the inside. Now it's going to be Daniel Fockingham, who was in the lead, pushing Michael P. Frisch up to it. Parker White trying to control his own destiny on the outside. He has a little bit of help from Tim Hendry. Not quite enough just yet. But now Frisch going to move back in front of Buttafuoco. Opens the door for Daniel Fockingham as they come through the Tri-Oval once again.
He's got to hope that Buttafuoco has the mind of a goldfish and forgets things easily. Otherwise, he may get dumped by Buttafuoco very quickly here. Parker White leading that outside lane. Is that going to be able to get it back together? Buttafuoco gets a little loose into turn number 1.
Oh, and almost a little bit of contact. Parker White and Daniel Buttafuoco almost come together trying to side draft once again. That's been the primary cause of accidents tonight. On board with Fockingham. Close call for them. And now, as the middle line's momentum has died out, Michael P. Frisch will have to go to the front end of the Buttafuoco machine trying to get more support.
Keep in mind, a couple of these cars up here already have used their fast repairs, most notably that car that's right in the center of your screen, Michael P. Frisch. He is running on his last life. We'll see if he's going to be able to make it work towards the end of the race.
Still 3 wide, all grouped together. Parker White, Michael P. Frisch, and Daniel Falkingham all battling for the lead here at Talladega. And now Parker White's going to abandon the outside line to fill that void left by Michael P. Frisch, going back down to the inside lane. But now Frisch doesn't have control between Falkingham and Buttafuoco. Buttafuoco and Parker White, that's going to be a formidable duo with 11 laps to go as they chug down the backstretch.
Tim Hendry with a massive run on the outside. Gonna look like he's gonna be able to get his nose out for just a second before Michael P. Frisch is able to use the shorter way around on that inside lane. We'll see if he's able to get any. Oh, and he gets turned!
Buttafuoco's around. The entire field is, it's the big one at Talladega. Parker Tatro with some secondary involvement there. Caution flag is out. Tim Hendry was in it as well. Dylan Dreiling and most of your lead pack that was contending for the win here at Talladega. It's going to have some damage to make up for inside 10 laps to go.
That all started with that outside lane in the 07 car. They were coming off of corner exit, and like I said prior to, it's very difficult to push in these cars, and they chose to push in one of the worst spots in the corner that got that 07 car turned around and sent them right down into those 2 lanes below.
Replay right here for you, and it's just another bad bump out of the exit of turn number 4. Spins that outside lane.
Fortunately, only one car got a meatball flag right there, Robert Lawrence, but that 13 machine, that green car that you see spinning right now that was oh so fast, already used a fast repair as well. Going to be unfortunately in a bad position here. Going to need to get that car repaired as one car is getting their lap back and almost ran into a couple of cars.
On board with Daniel Buttafuoco, and you can see Hendry just gets turned down, gets the rear tires lifted up off the ground, and actually does a pretty good job of not making any secondary contact in that incident.
Yeah, I mean, there was no major hits there that I would be concerned about. I mean, there's that secondary contact that you were hoping he avoided, but it's so light, I don't think it's going to be anything to be worried about. He'll probably have about 45 seconds to about a minute and a half of damage. We'll see how long he'll spend on pit road, but not optimal if you're trying to go for a win here.
Absolutely, and it's a bad bump from Sean Rafferty that brings out our 6th caution of the day. You can see a few guys just down on the pit lane trying to get some service on their race cars. Gonna shuffle up the top 5. You can see Daniel Falkingham is your leader. Parker White in the 2nd position. Michael P. Frisch, Sean Rafferty, and William Downham going to complete your top 5 as they run here on lap 72 of 80. Race control leaving a note for everybody running right now. The yellow line rule is in effect here, so no passing below that yellow line. Obviously, there will be some judgment used if you're forced down there or something like that, but not like some others where, you know, that's all fair game. Not going to be the case here tonight. Going to have to do all of your work above that yellow line. Gonna be an interesting restart here. We have 9 laps to go. Currently should be, I believe, 7 to go when we get that restart. So gonna be crunch time. And again, guys who got lots of help on that lap 50 caution include several of your key players in this race. Parker White was a few laps down after some contact early on. Michael P. Frisch blew that motor and is now back right in this thing. Sean Rafferty had gotten cycled out. William Downham was 4 laps down when that caution came out. He got all his laps back and is now up inside the top 5. A great night for him so far. Zach Nichols hasn't really had a chance to get back up towards the front, but when he did, He was one of those key contenders on the outside of the field. Tim Hendry led some laps inside this top 10 right now. Mason Sweet as well. Morgan Baird. And then Jaden Kratachi as well rounds out your top 10. And you see lights go out on the pace car. So we will get doubled up and ready to go for what should be one of the final restarts of the day. Note, I didn't say final because we do have 3 green-white checkers if we need to use them. And knowing the Gen 4 cars at Talladega, probably will. But either way, pace car rolling off of turn number 2. Been a fun day so far. Had a few incidents. It looked like turn 2 was going to be the trouble spot of the day, and we've had 3 cautions for incident there. But everything else has been out of turn number 4. Just some bad bumps gone wrong, and that's exactly what has put us under this caution period so late in the running of the virtual Dash for Cash. And
wanted to make a quick note that it was a 73-second pit stop for Budafuco, so not sure if he got all the damage repaired, but spent some time on pit road just getting that car cleaned up, and I will say they did a good job cleaning it up.
Absolutely, and again, should be 7 laps to go when we take the green flag here for, again, what should be one of the final restarts of the day. And again, those 3 green-white checkers aren't for granted. This could very well go green to the end, so the urgency and the intensity is going to be at an all-time high here for these drivers as they try to make their final maneuvers to get up in contention for this win. Either way, you still feeling fresh, Mendoza?
Did you see that last run right there? Just how quickly he was able to get up to the lead. I feel like that 58 machine is the car to beat. Green flag drops here at Talladega, and there is no major issues from the start. Parker White is able to get a better start on that restart here. Is able to get about a car length out in front of the 39 machine on the inside of Fockingham. But Fockingham going to be able to work his way right back up. Doesn't lose any moment of time trying to get that lead back again from Parker White. Still side by side throughout the field. And it looks like a third lane is starting to develop right now, with the leader of that being Zach Nichols quite quick.
And you can see Fockingham and Frisch on the inside. Rafferty wasn't really grouped up that well with Parker White. Now they're going to have a run. The 222 going to be pushing the 95 machine of Parker White. Here comes that third lane, Zach Nichols. Kratachi up there as well with Dreiling, and all of a sudden all grouped up. 6 laps to go.
Right now, I'm looking at that 58 machine of Michael P. Frisch. You know he does not want to be the third car on that inside line. Nowhere to go. See him make a move for 4 wide. I would not be unsurprised by that.
Here comes Budafuco making a move on Parker White. To the inside goes that number 13 machine. Nichols on the outside as well. Rafferty with Budafuco. Fockingham there as well. Budafuco going to go back up into that middle lane in front of Parker White. Coming to 5 laps to go at the Talladega Super Speedway.
Oh, contact through the tri-oval. The inside, the 222 of Budafuco make contact, but they're able to keep it going forward.
3 by 3 throughout the first 4 rows of this race. It's 12 cars right under a blanket for the win here in the virtual Dash for Cash. Sean Rafferty has inherited the lead, but not if Daniel Budafuco and Parker White have to say anything about it. Here comes Kratachi with the run. He's going to be all over the back bumper of Nichols as they head into turn number 3.
Nichols with a huge run through turn number 3, but are they going to be able to learn from the last people on that outside row not to push her out the corner? They're able to make it go by this time, no issues, but that is something that's getting real sketch in the lead pack, all these bumps.
It's a fine line that they have to tread. Coming to 4 laps to go here at Talladega. Still 3 wide for the lead. It's a race between Rafferty, Budafuco, and Zach Nichols as they head into turn number 1. Kratachi with a big run all over the back bumper of the Nichols machine.
No room for any of these other drivers behind to make any major maneuvers. It is gridlock traffic, 3x3. Will any driver try and force a fourth line? We'll see.
Indeed we will. Rafferty's still trying to hold his own on the inside lane, and they have the advantage in the corners. It's just right now not enough momentum to keep that car out front on the straightaways. That's going to be super important as they head out of turn 4 here.
Coming to 3 laps to go. One car joins back in. That's the 20 machine, or the 33 machine of Jaden Kratacci, blinking in and out, causing a bit of an issue throughout the entire lead pack. Kills that outside row.
Now all of a sudden it's a double wild formation. Zach Nichols right now dryling as well, trying to hold their own on the outside, but if they're going to make it work, they're going to need a little more support. And as I say that, on board with Santiago Tires to his outside is going to be Michael P. Frisch, trying to provide that extra car to get this outside lane moving along. 3 laps to go at Talladega.
Enter stage right, Michael P. Frisch with an absolute massive run, going to push Zach Nichols out by about a car length in front of them, but that's going to quickly evaporate as the inside lane is able to make great use of that shorter length around the circuit. But Zach Nichols, once again, with a massive run through the tri-oval, will he be able to clear before the start-finish line? He is not able to.
2 laps to go from the Talladega Superspeedway. Zach Nichols and Dylan Dreiling doing a great job to hold their own on the outside right now, and not only hold their own, but take control of this race. Zach Nichols had the inside lane open if he wanted it. He just opted not to take it right there. Still 3 wide. It's Buttafuoco, Rafferty, and Zach Nichols all stuck together right now.
It's anyone's game at this point. Who can get the best run? We'll be watching that right now. That inside lane starting to fall back, not able to make the runs that outside lane was hoping they would be able to make. So they are able to slowly make their way out in front through the corners, but losing it by the time they get to the start-finish line.
Side by side between Rafferty, Buttafuoco, Zach Nichols up in this as well. Gonna be the white flag in the virtual dash for cash from Talladega, and it's anybody's race right now.
Buttafuoco led at the line, but only led by 16 one-thousandths of a second. That'll be enough for a win next time by, but right now, that doesn't mean anything. Starting to slip back, he's third.
Pack is all together as they come off of turn number 2, and if you're gonna make a move, you have to make it now. Dylan Dreiling all over the back bumper of the Zach Nichols machine. Daniel Buttafuoco and Parker White. Here comes White on the inside. A little bit of contact. That's going to turn Buttafuoco around and change the outlook of this race. Daniel Falkingham's, Dylan Dreiling, and Zach Nichols are all together right now. Can anybody make a move? Dylan Dreiling, as they enter the tri-oval, is going to have a slight bit of a run. Going to the outside, and is he going to be able to get around Zach Nichols? Coming with a run, going to be side by side, and it's going to be Nichols at the line.
Nichols, Charlene, and Falkingham are the 3 drivers in this race that are going to get paid out. We'll find out how much that's going to be later. But for now, by 21 one-thousandths of a second, Nichols is going to beat out Dreiling.
Zach Nichols in a photo finish at the line. Dylan Dreiling had a run, but Zach Nichols just turned the car right and put Dreiling in the wall.
Wow. That was...
What a finish, Mendoza.
Yeah, that was a heck of a finish. There was so many opportunities right there, but Buttafuoco, who was looking so good, is only going to be able to score 16th place after that late move that just unfortunately did not pan out for him. Moves him down all the way the order and moves Zach Nichols to the top of the board.
And we will get that last lap replay for you in just a second. Meanwhile, Zach Nichols, the winner of the virtual dash for cash here at the Talladega Superspeedway.
Now, Caleb, I was just going to mention it when we got an opportunity that the inside lane on the backstretch was having a bit of an issue. There was a couple of cars that got all stacked up and they started to fall back. And that opened the door for Parker White and Buttafuoco, as you saw right there, to try and make that inside lane work. It was so close, only a couple of inches away from it being perfect.
And you can see as they head down the backstretch here, Parker White makes that move down to the inside. It's a late block from Daniel Buttafuoco, and again, you can't operate below that yellow line, so Parker White has no choice but to hold his ground, and that turns Rafferty, who gets into Falkingham, and it's just a chain reaction throughout the field. Santiago Tires gets up towards the fence. Oscar Jensen involved in that as well. Aaron Smith there had a rough day after starting on pole.
1 to 2 inches there, and that would have been an incredible finish to the line between some very quick drivers, but instead it turned out to be just these two on that outside lane, as well as the that third car, Falkingham, behind in that Tide machine. As we'll see right here, that race to the finish, and just barely Nichols sideswipes Dryling and is unable to, or just basically kills that run right there.
Anyways, it'll be Zach Nichols after starting 15th, coming home with the victory here from the Talladega Superspeedway. Dylan Dryling, oh so close, second here tonight for that 83 machine. Daniel Falkingham rounding out the podium in the third position. Mason Sweet coming home fourth. Santiago Tires, after getting up in the fence, going to come home with the top 5 tonight. William Downham, a great rebound for him. Oscar Jensen in the 7th position. Parker Tatro in 8th. Jeremy Bucci 9th. And Cy Bowen rounding out your top 10, Josh.
In 11th place, you got Parker White, who was racing for the lead right there at the end. Unfortunately, was the one that was just on the inside at the wrong spot. Tim Hendry, Morgan Baird, Aaron Smith, our pole sitter, got to play for free tonight. Michael P. Frisch, my pick to win, unfortunately, was just one spot too far back. Daniel Buttafuoco also racing for the win there. Does not have the finish that they were running towards the end of the race. Robert Lawrence, Sean Rafferty, Jenny Kutachi, and Derek Justice is going to round out our top 20.
And a tough day for those guys for sure, but not a tough day for Zach Nichols, who's going to come home with the win. Zach, we saw all of that unravel. How did you just keep your head straight through the chaos and come home with a win?
Yeah, I figured that the top was going to prevail coming to the end of the race, and I had my buddy Jaden back there with me until he kind of fell out with 2 laps to go, which is really unfortunate. But whoever was behind him did a great job pushing us to the end there. And I didn't really mean to get into the 83 there at the end, but when we got together, it kind of just shot my car right, and we hit him and stuffed us both in the wall there at the finish line. But yeah, it was a ton of fun.
And again, early on, we saw you using that outside lane to your advantage. And in the end, that's what ends up winning you this race after that last lap finish. Congratulations on the win. A really fun event to watch. And congratulations on coming home P1 tonight.
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to thank you guys for broadcasting this. It's always fun to go back and watch it. I'd like to thank all the league admins for putting this whole race on. It was a ton of fun.
Absolutely. Again, congratulations and thank you for your time here tonight. Zach Nichols, the winner of the virtual Dash for Cash from Talladega. We're going to move along. Dylan Dryling, the second place finisher, is alongside our very own Joshua Mendoza.
Dylan, you were so close to making it happen. Just a little hip check at the end. Still in the money, but not quite first place. What more did you need there at the end?
Well, I would have had it. I had the side draft there and would have gotten him, but we got together there, unfortunately, and got up the track. So that's unfortunate, but I did about as well as I could do in that race. I think overall it was pretty good. Only wrecked once, never used my faster pair, so I would say it was overall pretty good. And it was fun too.
Well, there you go. You feel like that was a fair play at the end, that hip check, or do you think that was just a little bit too dirty for your taste?
I mean, it's all right. I mean, there's not much he can do in that position. I wouldn't expect him to just hand me the win. So I expect something. And I imagine the reason we wrecked was probably because of netcode. But it was fine what he did.
Well, regardless, still in the cash for yourself, so you're going to be able to make it away with a little bit of moolah in your pocket. That's an exciting race to the end there. Is there anything else that was just a little bit sketch out there, or are you happy with just the finish there?
I thought it was good overall. I liked it. Wasn't too thrilled about the lap 50 caution, but, it helped those guys in the back, so good for them. And other than that, though, I mean, it was great. Great race. Really fun. hope we can do it again here soon.
There you go. Dylan Dryling in the 83 Buick is able to come home second. Caleb.
Thank you, Josh. And going to get our third place finisher in here, Daniel Falkingham. The final lap, you were right in line behind Rafferty. Talk us through all the pandemonium that unfurled right in front of your machine to come home P3 here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I hated it. I was kind of got stuck on the bottom there. I really couldn't do much, so the only way I could really do anything was if they all wrecked, because I had all the space, all the real estate down below me. Just use the apron, try to miss the wreck, and thankfully it all worked out because I could see Parker make that quick move going into turn 3, and I knew right when I saw that move, I knew, oh yeah, they're so gonna wreck. So once I saw them wrecking, I just hooked a hard left to hit on the apron. Had to kind of lift a little bit just to make sure I gave a little space to Rafferty in front of me so I didn't absolutely run over him because I knew he was going to get hit. Got by that, and I was hoping I would come out with the lead in the win, but Zach and Dylan just got out in front of me there on the top side. I was hoping those two would wreck each other coming to the finish line, and I'd have enough steam to get back to the line and win. But third place, not too bad. I think we got a little bit of a payday, so not too bad. It was a very fun race.
Absolutely, a third place finish for you tonight, and we were riding along with you at certain points during this race because the setup cam that we got for you, and Josh and I had noticed that you were looking a little off center from where your wheel set up. So talk us through kind of your monitor setup. Are you running off center in like your screen and your wheel?
Yeah, it's a it's a long story. So you see, I got my setup and all that. It's looking this way, but my TV, it's actually like a 42-inch TV. It's facing, like, if I face this way, I'm looking at it straight. So it's I got a whole weird setup going on, and not to mention I got the current rig I'm on right now. I got a wheel stand right here that's actually kind of broken. That's being held together by 2 hose clamps, and I've been running like that for almost a year. So, but I am in the works of ordering a new rig here pretty soon too. So these are like probably my final days, my final weeks with this current thing right now. So I'm gonna have I'll have a whole different setup hopefully within the next few weeks. But I got the good old die-cast wall as a good old backdrop. That's probably about the only good thing about this setup. But other than that, yeah, we got a little bit of a mess going on right here. But I've made this work for 7 years. So yeah, it wouldn't hurt maybe a couple weeks more, I guess.
Man, it makes it work once again with a third place finish tonight. Thank you for your time, Daniel. Congratulations on a P3. Maybe he can use some of that purse to contribute towards that next setup. Thank you again, Falkingham, for your time.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thank y'all for coming on broadcast this. Thanks to Presley, everyone, SRD, NFR. Glad to represent the NFR gang. To be able to do this race was a lot of fun, and definitely hope we can do this again.
That's Daniel Falkingham. And Josh, that's 80 laps at Talladega for you. A super fun time. I know I had a lot of fun sitting up here and watching all the chaos unfold. What were your thoughts, summarizing tonight?
I'm just impressed that Falkingham can do that. My hand-eye coordination would be all sorts of screwed up, but I guess he's had a year of practice, is able to make a third place finish happen. But yeah, like you said, it was a wild race to the finish. No surprise that the big one really happened majorly on that last lap with just a late race block at the end. And, it was cool to see a little race, even 21 one-thousandths of a second. So that was exciting, Caleb. Definitely no complaints. I'm looking forward to the next Dash for Cash. Hopefully it won't be too long.
Either way, that's going to wrap up coverage for the first annual virtual Dash for Cash. Zach Nichols in a photo finish with Dylan Dryling coming home with the victory here tonight. And for myself, for Joshua Mendoza and Zach Johnson, our producer, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out and spending time with us tonight. And again, Zach Nichols, a super fun event here from the Talladega Super Speedway. We'll be seeing you on Friday for FTF1.